Good afternoon, one and all. I am R.V. Kiran, Assistant Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering. Today in this video lecture, I am going to explain you about the different types of equipment used in the alignment tests. So, what are the different types of equipment used when we are going to measure the alignment test or when we are going to conduct the alignment tests? So, this is my 59th lecture regarding to the subject metrology. So in earlier classes, we have discussed about the alignment test in the lathe machines, drilling machines, and milling machines. Today, in this class, I am going to explain you about the equipment required for the different alignment tests or geometrical tests. So these alignment tests and geometrical tests are the same. So they are conducted in two ways, but the procedure and the methodology is same in both types. So that is why we are taking it as in the same procedure only. So generally, the measuring equipments used for the alignment tests are: first one is the dial gauges, second one test mandrels, third one straight edges, fourth one spirit level, fifth one is the autocollimator, and next one waviness meter. So these are all the different measurements and different equipment used in the alignment tests or the geometrical tests. So let us explain the equipment. So first one is the dial gauges. So these dial gauges are generally widely used in these alignment tests. So in each and every alignment test, they are going to use the dial gauge. So without dial gauge, it cannot be happened in the alignment tests. And the dial gauge selected should be having an accuracy of 0.01 mm. So it should have higher accuracy in measurement. So they need to with higher accuracy. That is why these dial gauges have been using with an accuracy of 0.01 mm. Next, the dial gauge must have been mounted on the robust and stiff base in order to avoid the displacement due to the shocks and vibrations. So generally, these dial gauges have been used on the magnetic movement. So let us see the dial gauge first. So this is the dial gauge meter, and it is enabled on the magnetic stand. So it has a magnetic stand which is attached to a 360 degrees rotatable stand. So it has a indicator and a case on the top face of it, and it has a graduated dial. So these are the graduated dial of the dial indicator, in which a shorthand indicator is fixed on it. So it has a shorthand indicator to it. Then on the lower point of the pointer, it has a stem and a plunger is attached to the contact point. So it is attached to the contact point. So then these contact point touches the surface to be tested. So it is the contact point which is used to touch the surface point to measure the size. So whenever this dial is used to rotate one revolution, this shorthand indicator is used to move in one point. So that is only one point of the shorthand indicator is used to move. So that is the point of verification here. So whenever the large hand pointer is used to rotate three revolutions, so from here to one revolution, two revolutions, and three revolutions, this shorthand indicator is used to move 3 points here. That is 1, 2, and 3. So this shorthand indicator generally used for the movement of the long hand indicator, that is long hand pointer, in which how many times it is used to be tested. Then the indication is used to be rotated there. So that is the main is here. And the initial plunger is used to be pressure between 40 and 100 grams. So that is to be of 40 to 100 grams pointer. And for a very fine measurement, as a low pressure as small as 20 grams is desirable. So a 20 grams desirable dial indicator is used to take in that one. So a 20 grams dial indicator low pressure is used for general purpose only. So the general applications of these dial gauge are, it is used to comparing the two heights. So generally these are used to compare two heights or two distances between the two narrow limits. So generally these are going to used in the heights only. Then to determine the errors in the geometrical form such as ovality, roundness and taper. So it is also used to determine the errors in the geometrical form such as the ovality, roundness and taper. So that is of the second type. And third application, it is used for taking accurate measurement of deformation such as intention and compression. So generally this is used for the compression purpose only. So compression of the machines by using this plunger. So generally these are going to accurate the measurements of deformation. Then it is also used to determine the positional errors of the surfaces. So these are also generally used to determine the positional errors of the surfaces such as the parallelism, squareness and alignment. So parallelism, squareness and alignment also, these are going to define the position errors, and it is used to check the alignment of the lathe centers. So these are also going to check the alignment of lathe centers by using suitable accurate bar between the centers. Then last one is to check the trueness of the milling machine arbors and to check the parallelism of the chevron with the table surface or vice. So it is also used to check the parallelism of the chevron with the table surface or vice. Then the advantage of the dial indicator. So we go to the advantages, different advantages of this dial indicator. So this instrument can be widely used and easily used. So this can be easily used and read even by unskilled worker. So this can easily run by the unskilled worker also. Next, it has low contact pressure, which is of low and uniform. So it has a very less contact pressure. That means it is of, it gets very low contact pressure. Next, the instrument is accurate and economical. So whenever we are going to use different types of equipment, you need to be check the what are the different types of economical equipment to be used. So this one is of the that type. Last one, it is used to handle and can be set very quickly. So these can be set in very quickly in time. So these are the different advantages of the dial indicator. So next one is the test manuals. So these test manuals are used for the checking and true running of the spindles. So generally these test manuals are going to be used for true running of the spindles. So whenever we are going to check the parallelism or true running of the spindles, the headstock as well as the tailstock. So these are going to check that one. And two types of test manuals are regularly used for the geometrical tests. First one is the mandrels with a cylindrical measuring surface and taper shank, which can be inserted into the taper bore of the main spindle. So these can be attached to the taper bore of the main spindle. And second one, it is the cylindrical mandrel, which can be held between the two centers. So the cylindrical mandrel is can be held between two centers, and the test mandrels are hardened, ground, and made to length, which varies from 100 to 300 mm. So these can be varied in different lengths. So whenever we are going to take these test mandrels, you are going to test the distance between the two centers, that is the main stock and headstock. So based upon the purpose only, you need to take the different lengths. So they are available from 100 to 300 mm. So based on your purpose and test, we have to fix this length of the test mandrels. So these are to be taken. Next one is the straight edges and the squares. So generally, the straight edge of the cast iron or steel hand should be heavily well ribbed and seasoned. So that is of very well hardened structure. So that can be used as the straight edges. So that is of well hardened equipment. Next, a square must be a wider bearing surface. So generally these squares have different points. So whenever it meets a perpendicular situation, you need to take the squares. So that is our different job. And the steel square is a precision tool used for laying out lines or for testing. So these are used for highly used for testing purpose only. Testing of squareness of two surfaces with each other. So they need to have two surfaces squareness. So that is of the squares. Let us see the straight edges here. So generally these straight edges are used to check the surfaces for flat and act as guide. These are going to be act as flat measurement and used as a guide for scribing long straight lines in the layout work. So they are going to be used for the layout workout also. Next, a rectangular bars of hardened and accurately ground steel. So these rectangular bars of hardened and accurately grounded steel are regularly used as the straight edges. Next, the edges are flat and parallel. So in the straight edges, the edges are need to be flat and parallel also. So that is of the one condition. So generally these straight edges are need to be parallel condition because we are going to measure the parallel ones. And last one, these have plain or beveled edges. So these straight edges have plain or beveled edges. Last one, these are generally made of cast irons with different ribs. So it is made of the cast irons of different ribs. So these are of the straight edges. So next let's go to the next tool to be used in that. So generally these straight edges error at the top of the standard square should be less than plus or minus 0.01 mm. So that should be less than 0.01 mm, which is of a precision less than plus or minus 0.005. So that is of the different section of the straight edges. And whenever a straight edge is placed on the machine surfaces, to check them for flatness or straightness. So generally these straight edges are used to check the flatness or straightness of an object. And next one we are going to take the waviness meter. So this waviness meter have the magnification. So generally these are going to take the magnifications with each and every level. So the magnification level should be with 50 is to 1 magnification, which is useful for recording and examining the surface wavelength. So these are highly used for the examining the surface or recording the surface wavelength. So these are going to use both conditions. Next one, alignment telescope. So this alignment telescope is of optical type. So this optical alignment telescope can be used to indicate errors of alignment in both the horizontal and vertical planes. So generally these have been used in the both situations for the vertical side and the horizontal sides of the planes of the optical axis. Next one is the machine tool test. So why we are going to use the machine tool test for tips has been given here. So it consists of another two types also, that is spirit level and the autocollimator. So these two equipment has been explained in the next class. So because the two topics is somewhat big one, so I am going to take the machine tool tests now. So the tests applied for the machine tools irrespective of the type. So that is of the type and format in which it falls into the well-defined group. So that falls into the well-defined group section, in which it may be summarized by some characteristics. So these can be summarized by some characteristics. So first one, the level of installation of the machine in the horizontal and vertical planes. So first of all, you need to install the machine within the horizontal and vertical positions, and then you need to are the alignment test, which is of the vertical and horizontal positions. Next one is the flatness of the machine bed and straightness and parallelism of the bedways or the bearing surfaces. So it can be indicated in both directions. That is the flatness of the machine bed and the straightness and parallelism of the machine bed. So that has been checked in these machine tool tests also. Now, third one is the test for the true running of the main spindle and its axial movement. So generally, true running also have been taken by defining the axis movement of the main spindle. So this has been taken as the axial movement of the or true running of the main spindle here. So this is also tested by the machine tool alignment test. Next one is the test for parallelism of the spindle axis to guideways or bearing surface. So you need to test the parallelism of the spindle axis with the guideways of or with the bearing surfaces. Next one, tests for the line of movement of various members. That is example for these saddle and table cross slides along their ways. So that is of the cross slides. And last one is the practical tests in which some test pieces are to be machined. So in this practical test, some machine tools to have to be machinized and taken into account, and their accuracy and finish is checked in the machine tool test. So these have been also been checked in that. So these are the different machine tool tests for the alignment test on machine tools. You have to be taken. So these are the different machine tool tests for obtaining the test of level of installation very accurate and very precise in shape. So by this, I am going to end my class. Thank you.